I gave my stepmom the perfect birthday gift, then watched her face melt as she realized what it meant. The gift was a photo album. Simple, leather-bound, the kind you'd find at any bookstore. But it wasn't what was inside that mattered. It was what wasn't. Veronica married my dad when I was 9, 3 years after Mom died. She moved into our house with her matching luggage and Pinterest-perfect smile. Within a month, every trace of my mother vanished. The paintings disappeared from the walls. Her garden tools left the shed. Even the recipe cards in her handwriting were replaced with laminated ones from websites. Fresh start, Veronica chirped whenever I asked. Your father needs to move forward, sweetie. But the worst part was the photos. Every single picture of my mother was removed. The wedding photos, the hospital pictures of her holding me, the vacation snapshots, gone. Veronica replaced them with professionally staged portraits where she stood in my mother's place, beaming like she'd always been there. I was 9, then 10, then 11, too young to fight back, too angry to forget. By 12, I started having nightmares that I couldn't remember my mother's face. I'd wake up panicking, desperately trying to recall the exact shade of her eyes. Dad wouldn't talk about her. It upsets Veronica, he'd say, as if her feelings mattered more than my mother's existence. I started researching. I tracked down my mom's college roommate through Facebook. My aunt, who Veronica had banned from our house, met me secretly once a month. I contacted my mom's old coworkers, her childhood friends, anyone with photos. Each meeting, I'd bring my backpack and they'd bring pictures. I scanned them on my phone and saved them to a hidden cloud. For 6 years, I collected. By 18, I had 847 photos of my mother. Pictures Veronica didn't know existed. Mom as a baby, as a teenager, in college, on her wedding day, pregnant with me, holding me, teaching me to walk. An entire life Veronica tried to erase. The week before Veronica's birthday, I spent $300 I'd saved from my part-time job. I had the best photos printed and arranged chronologically in that leather album. Every page was my mother, living, laughing, loving, being everything Veronica would never be. On her birthday, the family gathered. Veronica's parents, her sister, my dad's business partners. She opened gifts with exaggerated delight. When she got to mine, she beamed. From my stepdaughter, she announced, as if she'd earned that title. She opened it. The room went silent as she flipped through page after page of my mother's face. Her smile froze, then cracked. Her hands started shaking. She looked up at me with something between rage and terror. What is this? She whispered. That's my mom, I said clearly. Her name was Catherine. She lived in this house for 10 years before you. She painted those walls you repainted. She planted the roses you dug up. She was my father's wife before you decided she never existed. Dad's face went white. Veronica's mother looked confused. I thought you'd like to finally meet her, I continued, since you've spent 9 years pretending she never mattered. Veronica slammed the album shut. How dare you, she hissed. On my birthday, in front of my family. Funny, I said. I wondered the same thing when you threw away her ashes from the mantle last year. I'd seen her do it. Pour my mother's ashes into the garbage disposal while Dad was at work, then place a decorative vase where the urn had been. I'd said nothing. I'd waited. I'd planned. Dad stood up. Is that true? Veronica's face told him everything. I grabbed my keys and walked out. Behind me, raised voices and breaking glass. I didn't care. I moved in with my aunt that night. Started college 3 months later. Dad called twice. I didn't answer. Veronica sent a letter apologizing, explaining she'd been trying to help him heal. I burned it. 5 years later, I'm finishing medical school. My apartment is full of photos of Mom. Dad divorced Veronica last year. He keeps asking to rebuild our relationship, to explain why he let it happen. But some things can't be rebuilt. Some erasures are permanent, just like she tried to do to my mother's memory.